Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the moment. 2025 is here, and you don't have another year to waste. You don't have another 365 days to play with. The clock doesn't stop because you're tired. Time doesn't pause because you're uncertain. Life doesn't slow down because you're afraid. Every second is moving, whether you move with it or not. The only question is, are you finally ready to own your life? Some of you have been waiting for the right time, waiting for motivation, waiting for somebody to come and push you into greatness. But let me tell you something. The world doesn't owe you anything. You owe it to you. You owe it to yourself to stop looking for permission. You owe it to yourself to stop waiting for the green light. Listen to me. 2024 is over. The mistakes, the failures, the missed opportunities, the times you hesitated when you should have acted, it's done. You don't get to go back and fix it. But you do get to decide what happens next. You do get to say, this is my year, my time, my moment. And that means no more playing small, no more talking about it, no more half doing the work. Some of you keep looking at other people, thinking they got lucky, thinking they had something you didn't. But you don't see what's happening behind the scenes. You don't see the discipline. You don't see the sacrifices. You don't see the sleepless nights, the early mornings, the grind that nobody claps for. And you know what? You don't need to, because what they have has nothing to do with you. Your life is your responsibility. Your success is on you. Your future is in your hands. Stop blaming your past. Stop pointing fingers. Stop making excuses. You can either make progress or you can make excuses, but you can't do both. 2025 is not about talking. It's about showing. It's about waking up every single day and saying, I refuse to be the same person I was last year. It's about deciding that average is no longer an option. You've been sitting on your potential too long. You've been watching other people live the life you want. You've been scrolling, wishing, dreaming, hoping. But when are you going to get tired of watching and start doing? When are you going to get tired of your own excuses? When are you going to look in the mirror and say, I owe myself more than this? Because you do. You owe it to yourself to show up. You owe it to yourself to give everything you got. You owe it to yourself to be disciplined, focused, relentless. No more quitting when it gets hard. No more backing down when you feel uncomfortable. No more saying maybe next year. No, this is the year. This is the year you look back and say, that's when I changed everything. Some of you have people depending on you. Some of you are carrying the dreams of your family, the hopes of generations before you, the legacy of something bigger than yourself. And yet, you're still acting like you have time to waste. Let me be clear. You don't. You don't have the luxury of someday. You don't have the time to wait for inspiration to hit. You've got to move now. Listen, there are people out there with half your talent, half your intelligence, half your resources. But they're making it happen, not because they have more than you, but because they own their moment. They take responsibility, they stop wishing, and they start working. And if you don't wake up and do the same, you're going to watch another year slip through your fingers. And let me tell you something. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about knowing every step before you start. This isn't about waiting until you feel ready. You will never feel ready. You will never have the perfect conditions. You will never have everything lined up the way you want it. And that's why you have to start now. You don't need another motivational video. You don't need another pep talk. You don't need another sign from the universe. You need action. You need to get up and make it happen. Because at the end of the day, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to do the work for you. You owe it to you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to own 2025, or is it going to own you? Everybody wants to be great until it's time to do what greatness requires. Everybody wants to succeed until they realize success doesn't care how they feel. See, that's the problem. Too many people are waiting to feel like doing the work. Too many people are chasing motivation like it's some magic spark that's going to carry them through. But let me tell you something. Motivation is weak. Motivation is inconsistent. Motivation is there one day, gone the next. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. Motivation is when you wake up and say, I feel good today, so I'm going to go after it. Discipline is when you wake up, feel tired, feel stressed, feel unmotivated, and you still get up and do it anyway, because that's what it takes. That's the price of greatness. That's the difference between those who talk about it and those who actually make it happen. You can't afford to live your life based on feelings. Feelings are unpredictable. Feelings will lie to you. Feelings will tell you to stay in bed when you know you should be working. Feelings will tell you to skip the gym when you know you need to train. Feelings will convince you that tomorrow is a better day to start, when the truth is you need to start right now. How many times have you said, I just don't feel like it? How many times have you let a bad mood, a rough morning, or some temporary struggle talk you out of doing what you said you were going to do? Let me be real with you. That's the reason you're not where you want to be. It's not because you don't have talent. It's not because you don't have resources. It's not because the opportunity isn't there. It's because you keep negotiating with yourself. You keep making deals with your emotions instead of making decisions based on your commitment. Think about it. When have you ever regretted doing the hard work? When have you ever looked back and said, man, I really wish I didn't push myself today? Never. But how many times have you regretted skipping the work? How many times have you looked in the mirror and felt disappointed because you let another day go by without giving it your all? That's the pain you need to remember. That's the feeling you need to hold on to, because discipline is freedom. Discipline is what gives you control over your life. You think waking up early is hard? You think grinding every day is exhausting? You know what's harder? Living with regret. Looking back and knowing you had the potential, knowing you had the chance, knowing you could have done more, but you didn't because you let your emotions win, you let laziness win, you let doubt win. You have to get up every day and execute. No more talking, no more dreaming, no more waiting for the perfect moment. Discipline is doing it when you don't feel like it. Discipline is showing up even when it's inconvenient. Discipline is putting in the work when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody cares, because you owe it to yourself to stay committed. Listen, champions don't care about feelings. Champions don't care if they're tired. Champions don't make excuses. They just get it done. They put in the work day after day, whether they feel like it or not. And that's why they win. That's why they succeed. That's why they separate themselves from the crowd, because they don't let temporary emotions dictate their permanent destiny. Let me ask you something. How bad do you want it? Because if you really want it, you're going to have to prove it. Not just on the days when it's easy, not just when you're excited, not just when everything is going your way. You have to prove it when it's hard. You have to prove it when you're exhausted. You have to prove it when you don't see immediate results, when the process is slow, when the finish line feels a million miles away. Because that's when most people quit. That's when most people break. But if you can push through that, if you can be disciplined instead of emotional, you'll win every time. Nobody is going to do this for you. Nobody is going to wake you up. Nobody is going to force you to grind. That's on you. And I get it. It's hard. But you know what else is hard? Staying in the same place, watching other people pass you by, feeling like you wasted another year because you couldn't stay committed. So you have a choice. You can be disciplined now or disappointed later. You can take control of your life or you can keep making excuses. But don't ever expect to be great if you're only willing to work when you feel like it, because discipline wins every single time. You keep negotiating with yourself. You keep making deals. You keep giving yourself a way out. And that's exactly why you're not where you want to be. That's exactly why another year's passed and you're still in the same place, still making the same excuses, still saying maybe next time. Listen to me, there is no next time. There is no tomorrow that magically changes everything. The only thing that changes your life is what you decide to do right now. You wake up, the alarm goes off, and what do? You start negotiating. You tell yourself, 5 more minutes, and before you know it, you're running late. Before you know it, your whole morning is rushed. And it's not just the alarm clock. It's everything. You negotiate with your workout. You negotiate with your goals. You negotiate with your responsibilities. You keep talking yourself out of doing the hard things, the necessary things, the things you know you need to do. And guess what? That's why you're stuck. That's why you're frustrated. That's why you feel like you're watching other people win while you stay in the same cycle. Successful people, they don't negotiate. They don't wake up and ask if they feel like working. They don't sit around debating whether or not they should push forward. They just get up and execute. No deals, no debates, no excuses. And that's the difference. That's what separates them from everyone else. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's that they have mastered the ability to control themselves. Because here's the truth. Your mind will always look for the easy way out. Your mind will always try to protect you from discomfort. That's why you can't listen to it. That's why you can't entertain the argument. The moment you start debating with yourself about whether or not to do the work, you've already lost. Think about it. How many times have you talked yourself out of progress? How many times have you had a plan, a vision, a goal, and the second it got uncomfortable, the second it required real effort, you started finding ways to avoid it? You convinced yourself you needed a break. You told yourself you'd start fresh on Monday. You made up every excuse in the book, and then you sat back and wondered why nothing changed. You don't get results from thinking about doing the work. You get results from actually doing it. And that means no more deals. No more talking yourself into taking the easy route. No more giving yourself options when it comes to your success. If you said you were going to wake up early, then wake up early. If you said you were going to stick to the plan, then stick to the plan. You don't get to back out when it's inconvenient. You don't get to change the rules just because it got hard. Listen to me. Every time you let yourself off the hook, every time you choose comfort over commitment, you are training yourself to accept mediocrity. You are teaching yourself that it's okay to break promises to yourself. And once you start that habit, it's hard to break. That's why you've got to make a decision right now that from this moment forward, you will never negotiate with your greatness again. Think about the times in your life when you followed through, the times when you didn't let yourself off the hook. How did that feel? How did it feel to look in the mirror and know that you kept your word, that you followed through, that you pushed through the discomfort? That's real power. That's what builds confidence. That's what builds momentum. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Because once you stop negotiating, once you stop making excuses, once you stop entertaining the debate, you become unstoppable. You don't wake up and wonder if you're going to be disciplined today. You just are. You don't question whether or not You're going to put in the work. You just do. You don't need to convince yourself to grind. You've already decided. That's the level you need to reach. That's the mindset you need to lock into. No more negotiations, no more self-doubt, no more waiting for the perfect moment. Because the truth is, every time you negotiate with yourself, you're stealing from your own future. You're delaying the life you want. You're holding yourself back from everything you're capable of. So the next time your mind tries to talk you out of the work, the next time you start debating whether or not you should push through, I need you to shut it down. I need you to refuse to negotiate. I need you to remind yourself that you don't have time for debates. You don't have time for excuses. You don't have time for anything less than your absolute best. Because greatness doesn't negotiate, and neither should you. You keep waiting for something big to happen. You keep thinking there's going to be some huge breakthrough, some massive moment where everything changes overnight. That's the problem. Too many people want the explosion without the spark. Too many people want the success without the process. But listen to me. It's not about the big moments. It's not about one lucky break. It's not about one major event that changes your life. It's about what you do every single day when nobody's watching. You rise to greatness because of one big move. You rise to greatness because of small, consistent actions repeated over time. That's it. That's the secret. That's the formula. But most people miss it. Most people think success is some magical event. They think champions are born overnight. They think wealthy people just stumbled into money. They don't realize that every great person they admire got there through years of disciplined daily execution. That's why so many people fail. That's why so many people stay stuck, because they're chasing the highlight reel instead of building a foundation. They want instant results, but they don't want the daily work. They want the six-pack, but they don't want to commit to clean eating and training every day. They want the business, but they don't want to grind in silence for years before it pays off. They want to be at the top, but they're not willing to climb. You got to understand, it's what you do daily that determines your future, not what you do once in a while, not what you do when you feel like it, not what you do when you're motivated. What you do every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Look at your routine. Look at how you spend your time. Look at your habits. Because that's the real answer to whether or not you're going to win. Not your dreams, not your goals, not your motivation, your habits. If you wake up every day and do the same things you did last year, guess what? You're going to get the same results you got last year. It doesn't matter how much you want it. It doesn't matter how bad you hope for it. The only thing that matters is what you're willing to do every single day to make it happen. This is why most people never reach their potential, because they think they can just turn it on when it's convenient. They think they can go hard for a few weeks, take a break, and somehow still win. But you don't get to take shortcuts. You don't get to pick and choose when you want to be great. You either show up every day or you don't. You either commit to the process every day or you stay average. There is no middle ground. Think about an athlete. Think about a world-class competitor. You think they train only when they feel like it? You think they only push when they're excited? No, they execute every day, rain or shine, tired or energized, motivated or not, because they understand that greatness isn't about how you feel in the moment. Greatness is about what you consistently do when the excitement wears off. Most people can work hard for a short period of time. Most people can go all in for a few weeks. That's easy, but what happens when the hype fades? What happens when nobody's clapping for you? What happens when the results don't show up immediately? That's when most people quit. That's when most people start looking for an easier way. That's when most people start making excuses. But not you. You're done playing that game. You're done starting and stopping. You're done with the cycle of inconsistency that's kept you stuck. Because this year's different. This year, you're locking in. This year, you're committing to the process, no matter how slow it feels, no matter how long it takes, no matter how boring it gets, because real success is boring. It's repetitive. It's showing up and doing the same disciplined work over and over again until it becomes who you are. It's what separates the best from the rest. That's what creates legends, not talent, not luck, not big moments, daily execution. Small, disciplined actions repeated over time until they add up to something unstoppable. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop chasing the big break. Start focusing on what you can do right now today. Because at the end of the day, success isn't a mystery. It's a math equation. What you do daily equals who you become. And if you can master that, if you can stay consistent when most people quit, if you can commit to daily execution no matter what, there is nothing that can stop you. You keep waiting for someone to give you permission. You keep looking around, waiting for somebody to validate you, waiting for somebody to tell you that you're good enough, waiting for somebody to believe in you. But listen to me. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to tell you it's your time. Nobody's coming to open the door for you. Nobody's coming to push you forward. If you want it, you have to take it. Too many of you are sitting back waiting for approval, waiting for support, waiting for somebody to recognize your potential. But let me tell you something. If you don't believe in you, why should anybody else? If you don't wake up every day hungry, every day locked in, every day moving with purpose, why should anybody else bet on you? Success doesn't work like that. It doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who take action, to those who refuse to sit back and hope for a break, to those who decide, I don't need permission. I'm going to make this happen on my own. You got to stop seeking validation. You got to stop looking for applause before you take the first step. You got to stop waiting for the world to tell you that you're ready. Because the truth is, you're never going to feel ready. There's never going to be a moment where everything lines up perfectly, where you feel 100% confident, where the fear disappears. That's not how it works. If you want to win, you have to move forward, even when you're scared, even when you're uncertain, even when you don't know exactly how it's going to play out. Think about all the time you've wasted waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for people to support you. And where has it gotten you? Nowhere. The only thing that's ever going to get you ahead is action. Not waiting, not hoping, not wishing, action. Stop telling yourself you need more time. Stop convincing yourself you need more resources. Stop saying, I'll start when I have this, or I'll go all in when that happens. Because that's just fear talking. It's just another excuse. You already have everything you need to start. You already have everything you need to take that first step. But instead of moving, instead of acting, you're sitting back waiting for some magical green light that's never going to come. Nobody's going to pick you. Nobody's going to choose you. You have to choose yourself. You have to wake up and say, I'm done waiting. I'm done asking for permission. I'm done playing small. This is my time, and I'm going to take it. Because the people who win, they don't wait for approval. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't wait for things to get easier. They move now. They execute now. They go all in right now. And don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean people are going to support you. This doesn't mean people are going to clap for you. In fact, some people are going to doubt you. Some people are going to question you. Some people are going to look at you like you're crazy. And you know what? That's okay. Because if you spend your whole life trying to please everybody, you'll never please yourself. If you spend your whole life worrying about what people think, you'll never move. You've got to get comfortable making decisions without a round of applause. You've got to be willing to move even when nobody understands your vision. You've got to stop needing people to co-sign your dreams. Because at the end of the day, this is your life. your journey, your mission, and you can't let the fear of judgment keep you from walking in your purpose. Think about all the people who doubted the greats before they made it. Think about all the people who told them they weren't good enough, who laughed at them, who didn't believe in them. If they had waited for validation, if they had let those opinions stop them, they never would have made history. And the same goes for you. If you let fear control you, if you let doubt hold you back, if you let other people's opinions dictate your future, you'll never become who you were meant to be. So right now, you have a decision to make. Are you going to keep waiting? Are you going to keep hoping somebody comes and saves you? Or are you going to wake up and take what's yours? Because the truth is, nobody is coming to rescue you. Nobody is coming to do it for you. This is on you. You owe it to yourself to bet on you, because if you don't, who will? You keep saying you want it, but do you really? You keep talking about your goals, your dreams, your vision, but when it's time to put in the work, when it's time to sacrifice, when it's time to stay disciplined, where are you? Because if you really wanted it the way you say you do, you wouldn't be making excuses. You wouldn't be taking days off. You wouldn't be doing just enough to get by. Wanting something isn't enough. Everybody wants something. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to live their dream, but wanting it doesn't make it yours. What separates the ones who win from the ones who don't is the level of commitment. Because most people, they only commit when it's easy. They only commit when they feel like it. They only commit when it's convenient. And that's exactly why they never get anywhere. You've got to ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? Because if you want it bad enough, your actions should show it. If you want it bad enough, your work ethic should show it. If you want it bad enough, your sacrifices should show it. You can't just say you want it and expect things to change. Your life moves in the direction of your decisions, your discipline, your dedication. That's the difference. Look around at your life right now. Look at your habits. Look at the way you move every single day. Do your actions match your ambitions? Do your priorities match your purpose? Or are you just talking? Because it's easy to talk. It's easy to dream. It's easy to say what you're going to do. But at some point, you've got to prove it. When the alarm goes off and you're tired, do you hit snooze? Or do you get up and grind? When you're feeling lazy, when you're distracted, when you're tempted to take it easy, do you give in or do you lock in? When things don't go your way, when progress is slow, when results aren't showing up fast enough, do you quit or do you keep pushing? That's the real test. That's what separates the great from the average. It's not about how motivated you are when things are going well. It's about what you do when it's hard. It's about what you do when the excitement fades. It's about whether or not you're willing to keep going when nobody's clapping for you, when nobody sees the work you're putting in, when nobody is watching. Because that's where real commitment is built. Not in the spotlight, not in the big moments, not when it's easy, but in the trenches, in the struggle, in the moments when you feel like giving up, but decide to keep going anyway. You've got to get serious. You've got to stop playing with your potential. You've got to stop treating your dreams like you're optional. If you want this, then act like it. Show up every day like it matters, because it does. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for the easy way. Stop expecting somebody to come and push you. It's on you. You owe it to yourself to see this through. There are no guarantees in life, but one thing is for sure. If you don't give it everything you got, you will regret it. And that's a pain you don't want to live with. The pain of knowing you could have done more. The pain of knowing you had the opportunity, but you didn't take it seriously. The pain of looking back and realizing that the only reason you didn't make it is because you didn't fully commit. So right now, today, make a decision. No more halfway, no more kind of, sort of, no more 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Either you're all in or you're not. Because the ones who make it, they don't hope. They don't wish. They don't dabble. They commit fully, completely, no matter what. It's time to stop talking and start proving. You say you want it, then show it. You keep waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the perfect set of circumstances to go all in. You tell yourself, I'll start when I have more money. I'll go all in when I have more time. I'll be serious when things slow down. And that's the biggest lie you're telling yourself, because the truth is there is no perfect time. There is no ideal moment where everything lines up exactly the way you want it to.